Hello, parents. Welcome to the Masterful Parenting Podcast. I'm Anne Alvares, parent coach, school counselor, and mother of two. Do you sometimes struggle with your parenting role? Do you notice that sometimes you're repeating patterns that you learned in your own childhood? Maybe you are carrying childhood pain that has not been healed, and you notice that it is showing up in your parenting with your own children. Perhaps you yell or get frustrated easily. Maybe you are directing them or telling them what to do all the time, and you notice that your actions are affecting your relationship with your children. Well, parents, I totally understand this. I came from childhood pain and I learned how to be a relational parent with my children. And I can teach this to you as well. This podcast is all about learning how to heal the childhood pain that we are carrying so that we can foster healthy relationships with our kids. Join us every week for a new show, and we will dive into the healing and the fostering of healthy relationships with our children. Hello, parents. Welcome to the Masterful Parenting Podcast and YouTube channel. I'm super excited because I have a special guest. Her name is Rachelle McGarry. Rachel is
Rachelle.
a Rachelle. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
Rachelle McGarry. Thank you for correcting me.
yeah.
She is a parenting and life coach with 40 years of experience helping families. She is the creator of Empowered Parenting from Overwhelm to Calm, Confident, and Connected, guiding parents to heal old patterns, release limiting beliefs, regulate their nervous systems, and build strong, resilient bonds with their children. Welcome, Rochelle.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited. We're going to talk about how we can be confident, calm, and connected with our kids. So
Yeah.
let's talk about, our emotions, right? Like, what does it mean to become a sturdy emotional homeland for your child?
Well, I don't know. When I talk with parents, I one of the most powerful images I get is that comes up for me is this idea of being a sturdy homeland for our children. I mean, think about what a homeland is. A homeland is where you can always return to. It's where you feel safe. It's where you belong. It's where your story begins. You know, for our children, we as parents are that homeland. We become that homeland for them, right?
Very true.
And what I know is that the more sturdy, steady, and nurturing we are, the more resilient and rooted our children can grow. I mean, when you think about it, parenting is leadership.
Yes.
Parenting is leadership, and your inner growth. And while I do believe tools and strategies are helpful and good, I think your inner growth as a parent is the most powerful parenting tool you have.
Yes. Yes. What gets in the way of parents having this sturdy emotional homeland?
Well, what gets in the way is the stress of parenting. What gets in the way
Mhm.
of old wounds that get triggered? What gets
Mhm.
in the way is nobody comes into parenting realizing how difficult it is.
Yes,
What gets in
it's
the way
true.
is not having enough support. What gets in
Yes.
the way is not knowing how to handle the things that are in front of you, wanting to handle them, and yet getting triggered and reacting.
Yes, it's true. It's true. So, and maybe you didn't grow up with in a sturdy emotional homeland. Maybe that wasn't your experience.
And how many parents have? I mean, so many of the parents I work with, and so many of the parents I've worked with over the years haven't grown up in a sturdy homeland. I would have to say the percentage of us that have is very small.
Yes.
Most of us grow up with old tapes and deep wounds
Hmm.
and trauma that we don't even realize is guiding our behavior until our kids come along, and there is nobody in the world that can push your buttons like your kids,
True.
because
Very
there's
true.
because nobody is prepared. Nobody, I don't believe, is prepared for the intensity of emotion that wakes up when you meet that new one.
It's true.
Mhm.
It's true. And it's hard to gain confidence with something that you've never experienced, right? Like
Especially if, yeah.
yeah, I remember being a new mom and just being lost. I felt lost,
Mhm.
you know, and overwhelmed. So, so I think that's part of it is just not experiencing this sturdy emotional homeland at home, but also not having mentorship in
Right, and
parenting when you're,
support.
yeah, and support when you're a new parent, right? Especially when you're a new parent. But I think you need support throughout your parenting journey.
Yes, because it's always evolving.
Yes,
It's always
yes.
evolving. I mean, if we're relying on, I'm telling you, and I mean, we waited a long time. I have three absolutely blessings of children because I was told I would never have children. So I have three miracles. And I
Mm,
was so eager and ready and waiting for them when they came. I think I read everything out there. I mean, not only, have I got all this education and I read all these books and all the experts, and I knew what I thought was just really going to get me all set for this. And boy, did I eat several 100,000 words, you know, once I was
but
confronted
nothing
with the
prepares
task.
you for the reality.
For the reality. And if like me and like so many of us, you didn't grow up with that sturdy homeland, you don't really have within you, that that core grounding, that confidence that you can handle difficult situations that you have never experienced before.
Yes.
And if you don't have the support, which so many of us don't,
Hmm.
it's very extremely overwhelming, and we end up in situations that we never dreamed we'd be in. We end up doing things we never thought we would do. I mean, how many of us have said, I will never do that as a parent, and then we find those words coming out of our mouth, we find those behaviors happening, and then we feel absolutely terrible.
Yes. Yes.
And then
Yes.
we think we failed, we think that we are ruining our children. I mean,
Mhm. It's so true. Like I've made my share of parenting mistakes, I would say. I think it's really hard to not make mistakes because everything's new and also maybe you weren't modeled that relational piece
no,
with your kids. So then you go with this old programming that you have to control them, that if they're having strong emotions, that it's about you and that they're being disrespectful. Like you play these messages in your mind because these are the messages that you grew up with
right.
from your parents,
Exactly. These are the
right?
messages you grew up with. These are the messages that you know. And when we get triggered, which we will
Hmm.
and do get
Yes.
triggered,
Hmm.
everything
I
that
still
we
get
know up
triggered.
here isn't working anymore, because when we're triggered, this is offline,
Yes.
right? We
Yes.
are now in react mode, and when we're in react mode, we're going with the old stories.
Yes.
So if we haven't become aware of the old stories, or if we haven't begun to challenge them and to become aware and to begin to heal these these early wounds, they're
Yes.
going to get played out over and over in all kinds of ways in our parenting.
I agree. I just want parents to know that I still get triggered but I'm just so much better now at recognizing, okay, I'm getting triggered. Why am I thinking this way? Why
Yeah.
is it upsetting me?
And what can I
I'm
do?
What can I do?
Yeah.
Where is it
Yeah.
coming from? And then refocusing on what is best for my child. What does
Hmm.
my child need right now and what is best for him?
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, but you know what? Triggering is not a bad thing because it actually helps you. If you can stop if you, and become aware, oh yeah, I'm getting triggered
Hmm.
right now.
Hmm.
Like I can feel myself like, my heart's racing and I'm getting upset. When you can understand, okay, I'm getting triggered right now, it is an
Hmm.
opportunity to slow everything down and
It's
become aware of the why. Why?
it's an opportunity to become aware
Yes.
of of the fact that this is, I mean, what is a trigger, Anne? I mean, a trigger is I am responding to something, that is not happening in the present. And I am responding to it as though it's happening in the present. So I'm
Yes.
responding to inner cues. And so triggers help us become aware of our inner cues.
Yeah.
And they help us become aware of the places where we really do need healing.
Yes. It's like I'm reliving something
Mhm.
that happened in my childhood, but that's not happening in my childhood right now.
Right. And
But
I'm not
I'm
12 years
carrying,
old, and I'm
yeah,
not 4 years old, you
yeah,
know, and this
I'm
person is
carrying that
not
wound.
hurting me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the triggers help us identify that there's still wounds there that
Hmm.
need to be healed, right? So, and just to, I think it actually helps you in your parenting when you recognize, all right, I'm getting triggered right now, right?
It
So, why?
absolutely helps you in your parenting, especially when you really want to do it right and you
Yeah,
want to do it better.
yes,
And you don't want your children to go through what, you went through.
yes,
You know, I didn't want my children to go through what I had gone through. I didn't want them to grow up feeling scared all the time and not trusting people
yeah,
and feeling like I had to be perfect at everything I did because I wasn't valuable unless I was doing it perfectly,
mhm,
right? Growing up with not knowing how to form and maintain healthy relationships.
yes,
I
yes,
didn't want that for my children.
yeah. Same, same.
No,
I didn't want my kids to experience what I experienced because it was too painful.
it was
So,
terrible.
yeah,
It was
and
terribly
and
painful.
and I was scared of my parents. I didn't want my kids to be scared of me, right? Because I was
Right.
scared of my parents. And so as a result, I didn't share things with them or get their help because I got the message that, you got to figure it out on your own, you know?
Right.
So, so I didn't want my children to experience that. So that I knew I had to work on me
Hmm.
so that I didn't repeat it, you know?
Right.
And at times I did still repeat it, but at least I was aware. I was like, hold
It
on a
doesn't go
second.
away, Anne. I
Yeah,
mean,
hold
here's the
on.
thing. I had a mom say to me, when will this trauma go away? And it's like,
Yeah.
it all lives inside of us. These are
Mhm.
all the experiences that form who we are. It
Mm,
isn't that it goes away. It's that it no longer drives my behavior most of the time.
yes.
I can think about things that happened and not have an emotional reaction to it,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
I mean,
I
that
agree.
is the goal.
That's
That is
that's
the
the
goal.
healing. That's the
Mhm.
healing is
That's the healing.
that you're not so emotional about things, because you've relaxed that part,
Mhm.
in your mind. So why is our nervous system regulation the foundation to calm and confident parenting?
It's terribly foundational because our children, their nervous system is built off of our nervous system. And
Mhm.
so their nervous system reacts to our nervous system, and it happens way below the level of consciousness, you know, and they don't know what it means unless they have some help understanding it. So for example, if I'm very upset, about something, and my kid comes to me and say, Mom, are you okay? And I say, yep, everything is fine because I believe that I am protecting them. Their nervous system still feels the upset.
Yes.
And it's in the nature of kids to say, well, something is going on. There is upset here, because I'm upset, so it must be something wrong with me,
Yes.
you know?
That's the internal, this is what I talk about a lot with parents is that that's the internal messaging that our kids give themselves based on our behavior or on what they feel from us.
What their nervous system picks up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What their nervous system picks up. So, emotional regulation, is the absolute. I mean, in my system of working with parents, I mean, of course, the first thing that we have to do is just kind of get grounded and begin to build awareness, right? But then it's aligning, it's getting that nervous system to align with your values and understanding that everything that goes on in your nervous system is training your child's nervous system.
Mhm.
I mean, children don't learn nearly from what we say.
Yes.
They learn from what they experience. They learn from what we do. They learn from who we are as we're doing it,
Yes.
right?
So
So
true.
I used to tell parents, I mean, I advise parents, if you're upset, you say, I'm upset. I'm
Yes.
upset because this and this happened, but I wanted you to know it's not your fault, and I'm going to get through this. I
Yes.
mean, how do we establish the sturdy homeland? Another metaphor that I sometimes use is how do our children learn to trust that we are flying the plane, that we are the pilot that is going to get them to their destination, which is
Yes.
resilient adulthood. If the plane, crashes or dips or rolls over or dives every time, or if I'm consulting with my child and say, well, what do you think I should do here? Right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. Then we're not in charge.
we're not in charge, and the way that we communicate that to our children is that we learn to regulate our nervous system.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
that's why the second pillar of my system is align. It's learn to align your nervous system and learn that your child is always regulating off of you. So, what do you want your child, ultimately to feel about growing up in this home?
Right.
You
Because
know,
they feel our energy, our emotions. They feel
absolutely.
our
Yep.
upset. They
Yep.
feel all of that stuff. All the stuff we're bringing home, they feel it, right? Stress, financial stress,
Yep.
um,
They
you know,
feel it. They don't know what
fatigue.
it means. They don't know
Yeah.
how to interpret it. They don't know, I mean, because they're kids and their
Yeah.
brain is not as sophisticated as our brain,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. So they don't have the experience. So they're just like, I know mom's feeling this way or dad's feeling this way, but don't know what that's all about.
And they may
So
not even know how to
maybe,
label the feeling. They may
yeah,
not even know how to identify it. If we aren't helping our children identify, their feelings, if we're
yeah,
not identifying our feelings to them, and we're
yes,
not helping them identify their feelings, they aren't going to know how to identify them. I would have kids come in and, well, how are you feeling? I'm, they would have three words to identify
yeah,
their
I'm
feelings:
fine.
mad, I'm fine, or I'm sad, right?
Yeah,
They didn't have
everything's fine.
language.
Yes,
We have to give them that. We have to
yes,
teach them that,
I agree. I agree
right?
100%. Yeah, I
And we
agree.
can't teach them that if we aren't regulated, because if we aren't regulated, they aren't going to be regulated, and a dysregulated nervous system can't learn.
Right.
A dysregulated nervous system, the prefrontal cortex, the learning part of the brain is turned off.
Yes.
And the reactivity, of the midbrain is what's running the show.
Right. Right. There's no problem solving going on.
No
There's
problem
only
solving,
reaction.
just
Yeah.
reactivity. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. Um, okay. So how can parents actually use conflict with their child to build stronger connections.
It's such a beautiful way that it's really ideally set up because there is going to be conflict.
Yes.
It's inevitable.
In
And
every relationship, there can be conflict.
there's conflict in every, especially our closest relationships, there's conflict,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But I always teach parents that behavior is communication. Our child's behavior is communication.
Hmm.
And we don't always go into our parenting knowing how to get underneath that unless we're
Yes.
coming into it with a better regulated nervous system, right?
Right.
This is why, the third and fourth pillars of my system involve, that connection,
Yes.
building that connection. So if we start from this understanding that all behavior is communication, when my
Mm.
child is melting down or rolling their eyes or refusing to do something or refusing to stop doing something we want them to do, what is the feeling that's driving that behavior?
Mhm.
And then what is the need that's underneath that feeling? I mean, I'll give
Right.
you an example. I was recently working with a mom and a daughter. They were estranged. I mean, this was a single mom that, came into her parenting with all the same, with all kinds of unhealed wounds herself. And her daughter, who at this point was in high school, um, was really pushing hard, pushing and creating conflict and storming out of the house and leaving, and did a lot of things that really triggered this mom. And
Hmm.
so, this mom is saying to me, I'm terribly afraid, that my daughter hates me and that she doesn't want to be with me. And, she's going to graduate pretty soon. And I'm terribly terrified that, she's not going to be able to successfully launch into the places that she wants to go to. And
Hmm.
so we're talking about this big blow up that they had. And so this mother is saying, I need to ground her. I need to take away this and take away that
Yes.
and ground her. When this mother got to this point where she's starting to realize that what's really going on is how scared her daughter is, how terribly afraid she is of getting done with high school and having to be considered an adult and not feeling ready, right?
Right.
I said, so does it help a scared kid to be grounded? I
Yeah.
mean, what does a scared kid need?
Yes.
I mean, what do they need? And
Hmm.
she said, well, they need to feel safe. And I said, does grounding them and taking away all this stuff from them help them feel safe?
Hmm.
And she said, no. I said, so what are some things that she needs to feel safe? Right. And
Yeah.
and then we can go from there.
Yes.
We can go from how do we build the safety in. So it's
Yes.
being able to look at my child's behavior and really understand, and that is if I'm regulated, so this is working, right?
Yes.
Then I can begin to look at what is the underlying feeling and the need underneath the behavior
Yes.
so that I can meet the need.
Yes.
I always, and this has been demonstrated over and over and over, in my practice with families, is that I would tell parents, look, if you validate the feeling,
Hmm.
you will see the behavior begin to settle down.
Yes.
If you validate the feeling, that's where you start. You validate the feeling.
Yes.
And once you
Because
validate the feeling and you see the tension start to go down with your child, then you can begin to say, wow, I know it's so hard for you to stop doing what you really love doing. I know it's really hard. I used to see parents, they would come in and they would say, turn off your iPad. kid would say, no, I'm in the middle of something. I'm not turning off my iPad. And then you have parents come and grab it.
Yes.
And then you really got a meltdown,
Yes.
right? Because it's like, I'm the parent, you're the child, you do what I say.
Yes.
And
That's how
so
we grew up. That's
that's
how
how we
we
grew
grew
up,
up.
right? Do what I
Parents,
say, not
it's
what I
not
do.
healthy. It's
Yeah,
not healthy. That's
no,
abusive. Like
it
you don't
is.
want your spouse to do that to you. Like when they're an adult, they're going to attract a relationship that's like that, where someone's
Yep.
trying to control them.
Mhm.
So we have to stop doing those unhealthy things with them.
Right.
Right?
And we
And
can use these conflicts. We're not going to get it right 100% of the time
right.
because because we're not perfect,
No, we're not.
right? It's not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about showing up day after day after day after day in all of the different moments and building this. I liken it sometimes to planting a garden
Yes.
where you put the seed in, and before the sprout comes up, you've got to water and develop the roots,
Mm,
right? And the roots have to come down. That's that foundational stuff. That's the nervous system regulation and the aligning and all of that. And before I can create a sturdy plant that will flower into the most beautiful plant it has the possibility of being, it's got to have a sturdy root system.
yeah. I call it the emotional bank account, like
Mhm.
feeding the emotional bank account every day. I said every day we have to feed the emotional bank account
Right,
with our kids
right,
because the filling of the bank account builds trust
right,
and connection so that when there is a storm, your child is going to go to you.
right. And when there is a storm, in all the times there are storms when you're slowly building. I mean, it's not a one and
Yeah.
done kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a everyday kind of thing. It's an action. It's these small and big actions that you take so that children begin to learn that storms happen
Yeah.
and that storms can be managed. I mean, what do
Yeah.
we teach our kids, Anne, if we are always giving in to so there's not a meltdown,
Yes.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, if we're always giving in so there's not a meltdown, I mean, we're teaching them big emotions are emergencies
Yes.
and they got to be fixed right now, right?
Yes. And
That
then you get what you want when you make
Right.
a stink.
Other people will reorganize reality to make it okay for me.
Yes.
So, then we raise these entitled human beings that think the
Exactly.
world revolves around them,
Exactly.
and that they don't have to develop tolerance for frustration or disappointment
Yeah.
or sadness, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that throwing a fit gets me what I want.
Our job is not to rescue our kids.
No,
Like we have to make that perfectly clear. Our job
right.
is not to rescue them. It's
Hmm.
to help them develop skills
Exactly.
to cope with the discomforts that come with living, because there are
Yes.
discomforts, right?
And being able to do that
Yeah,
is, 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10 requires that we've done some work on ourselves and we are getting the support that we need when we need it.
exactly.
I mean, you've heard this said before, you can't pour from an empty cup. If your
And I do,
emotional bank account count is down to zero,
then you can't give. You
can't,
can't
no,
give.
you've got to fill yourself up and
Yes.
you've got to learn, you know, I heard someone put it this way. She said, when your kid is dysregulated, you know, we pause, we notice our own, state. I
Hmm.
mean, and then, we have to get into our body so that we can regulate our nervous system. The breath is a great way to do that.
Yes.
right? I
Mhm.
mean, we breathe, we drink water, we chew gum, we do
Mhm.
something to get into our body and so that we can come from a calmer state.
Yes.
And even a little bit of a shift can open the door to a calmer connection. But when we
Yes.
make the effort, we build that trust you're talking about.
Yes.
And what do we have? I'll tell you, one of the things that has troubled me so much in recent years is I've seen so many young people, so many adolescents not have the resilience to do school, to stay in school,
Yes.
not have the emotional resilience to graduate. In my 40 years of doing this, in the last 3 years, I've seen more bright young people fail in high school than ever
Mhm.
before.
Yes.
Nothing is more important than this work, nothing. If we want to heal, because when we heal ourselves, we
Hmm.
heal our children, and then we heal all of the unborn children that come after that.
I know. It's generational.
In which generational, we create this legacy of what is this family? What is this emotional homeland?
Yes.
This is this is who we are as a family. Who we are as a
Yes.
family is we eat dinner together. Who
Hmm.
we are as a family is we help other people. Who we
We
are,
think about each other. We
we
care
think
for each other. Like
exactly.
this is something that I really have like for teenage years can be very self-centered, right?
Mhm.
I know this from working with teens and things like that. And I've had to have like these kinds of conversations with my youngest um, to get him out of that kind of thinking. Like we're a family and we all do things for each other. And then I use myself as an example. I'm look at mom. What does mom do? What does mom sacrifice? What does
Mhm.
mom do for you guys because she loves you, right?
Right.
And then it just that conversation did a
Mhm.
360 with him. And so that's why I'm saying these kinds of first, like I'm very much a filled up emotional bank account. So we're very close. I'm really close to my two kids. Um, but then you do have to step in and give your values of what you want in your family. That's
And
super important.
yeah, what I call, and we begin to establish that with what I call empathic boundaries, right?
Hmm.
Empathic boundaries are the fences,
Yes.
right? That
Hmm.
say, this is who we are. This is how we behave in this family, because this
Yes.
is who we are. For
Yes.
example, in my husband's father was one of the first people involved in the sit-down strike that established the unions. That's part of our legacy as a family, right?
Yes.
We
Yeah.
take care of, I remember one Christmas, my daughter was in, she had to do some community service for this National Honor Society she was in. So in my community, the Jewish Federation does a dinner every Christmas for homeless people.
Mhm.
And I told my daughter, I said, we're going to work in and we're going to serve
Yes.
breakfast to the homeless. And she said,
Yes.
you mean I got to get dressed? It's Christmas. Mumble, grumble, grumble, right? I said, yes. We're going to go and
Our
do
kids
this.
do.
And do you know, she said, Mom, there's kids here. I said, I know, there's kids here. And she said, and Mom, they don't have any Christmas presents.
Yeah.
And do you know that insistence, that we
Mhm.
always take these holidays and give to those less fortunate. That's part of our legacy, right?
Yes.
It's part of our legacy as a family.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes they grumble and fuss about it.
It's true. And it's okay for them to.
Yes, it
Like,
is.
I'm just going to say, parents, it's okay. It's normal. Our kids are
Mhm.
going to complain. They're going to say, like, why do we have to? I don't want to. Like, it's fine. Let them express it. That means they feel comfortable, safe enough to really explain or express how they're feeling. But again, we're going to be calm about it, right?
It's possible,
We're
yes.
going to be calm before we respond. We're not going to
I
get
mean,
all
you
mad
know,
at them.
yes. But we can take those moments of conflict and use them and be
Yes,
grateful.
yes.
Be grateful that this is helping to teach me. And so, I always say that what do we need to create this emotional homeland? Yes, we need tools. And yes, we
Mhm.
need these strategies.
Yes.
Um, but more than anything else, we need ourselves.
Yes.
We need ourselves. One mom that I recently worked with, when we were finishing up, she said to me, she said, I I didn't think it was possible to feel like this. And I said,
Wow.
what do you mean? And she said, I didn't think it was possible that I could feel happy. I didn't think it was possible I could have this kind of relationship with my daughter. I
Yes.
didn't think it was possible that I could go through a day and not feel so scared and anxious all the time,
Mhm.
you know?
I know. That's such a good feeling.
Isn't it?
Such a good feeling.
And
Yes.
everyone deserves to feel that, Anne.
I'm with you. I'm
Everyone.
with you.
Mhm,
I'm with you.
mhm,
Okay, I really, really love this. We could talk forever. Hey, Rochelle.
mhm.
Okay, so um let's let's go into well, I just want to do a little bit of a recap for parents, like what Rochelle shared with us, her expertise about having a sturdy emotional homeland that comes from us, and that we have to regulate our emotions, how we're feeling, what we're feeling. And we can name our feelings to our kids. I'm feeling frustrated right now because
Exactly,
that way they're
exactly.
not creating this messaging that is about them. When we express and tell them I had a really hard day at work today, then our children know it's not about them, right?
Mhm.
And we have to regulate our nervous system, get calm.
And
Be
it's possible to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And that we can use conflicts when we try to figure out, instead of getting upset and giving into the triggers, we can calm ourselves down and then get to the place where we're trying to figure out what does my child need,
Right,
right?
exactly. What
Because
does
our
my
job,
child need in this moment?
I'm going to say, I say this a lot to parents, the parents I work with. I say, our job is to give our kids what they need, not what they want.
Right.
And
Mhm.
so we're filling their needs. And a lot of the needs are emotional needs,
This is how we
understanding.
build emotional intelligence. This is how
Yes,
we build emotional intelligence. You can't build emotional intelligence if you haven't acquired some of it, right?
yes, yes. You
And
have to be in touch with
continue.
your own feelings. You
But
have
this
to
is why,
acknowledge it.
this is why I created my free guide, right?
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
because it's just simple things a parent can do in the moment
Yes.
so they can
Okay.
show up
That's so
as
good.
the sturdy leader their child needs.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Uh, Rochelle, I'm going to get you to tell parents how they reach you, how they get the free guide, and everything that they need to make connection with you.
Okay.
Where are you?
Well,
Oh, LinkedIn.
the easiest way to connect with me is through my email,
Okay.
right? And that should be in the show notes, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
And they can also access your LinkedIn page,
I'm in
Facebook,
LinkedIn, Facebook. I would like to
Inst
say I'm on Instagram. My kids keep pushing me to do more with Instagram. I think it's a good thing. It's just that uh, life gets busy.
I know. Okay, good, good. And then for the free guide, I can put that on the show notes, right? For
Right,
parents.
right.
Oh,
Yes.
you got a freebie, parents.
And
All
it's
right.
just free and and I've had so many parents tell me how helpful it is.
That's so
Right?
good. So good. Okay. Um, Rachelle
But I
McGarry, I
do
just,
have a program, and
oh, go ahead.
I have a, a program that walks parents step by step through how to get to that place that I was just telling you this other parent was telling me,
I
right?
love that.
I no, so she's at that place now where she feels confident and she
Yes.
feels empowered and
Yes.
she feels hopeful for the
Yes.
future.
Yes, parents, that can be you.
That
That
can
can
be
be
you.
you. Yes, for sure.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining the show today. I really appreciate this conversation. We could go on forever, but I'm so attuned to what you do. It's resonates with my heart. So thank you so
Well,
much.
mine too. I love what you're doing, Anne.
Aw,
Right.
thank you so much. And thank you, parents, for joining the show today. We will see you in the next episode. I hope you got a lot of helpful tips here. Thank you, parents, for joining the show today. I hope it was valuable and that you have some useful tools to use with your children. If this show blessed you or changed you in any way, I would appreciate a review on my podcast, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, or perhaps you could even recommend our masterful parenting to your family and friends. Thank you so much, parents.